welcome to Americans Learn. My name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be looking at a Fat Electrician video. This is the biggest troll in the food industry, aka Taco Bell. You know, I'm not sure how Taco Bell is trolling, but I believe Nick when he says it is. I've eaten at Taco Bell like twice, and yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I've just never, I feel like I've said this multiple times. I've never been a big fast food connoisseur. And Taco Bell is something, like I said, I've eaten it a couple times. I don't remember what I had. I think like a quesadilla probably, because I was just like, I need something that's $1. And you know, so I'm curious to see why it's gonna be a big troll. Why is Taco Bell a troll? There's one near where I live now. I think it's a cantina, which people like. Fun. Yeah, I don't know. I never know with these things. So we're gonna find out. Let's go.
This is gonna be one of those times where you're like, man, I feel like I knew that. It just never really dawned on me until now.
Excellent. Let's go. I feel like that's a lot.
Today we're talking about Taco Bell, probably the biggest troll in the restaurant industry. Buh! That's not true. Have you read Wendy's Twitter? It's hilarious. Buh! Yeah. We know Wendy's has a funny Twitter where they clap back at people in the comment section. Okay, what I need you to—
I don't think he means the social media managers are troll. Wendy's does trolling. I'm curious. Like, I want to know how Taco Bell is a troll.
Understand is that Taco Bell has been out here actively trolling entire government agencies, and they've been doing it since back in the 90s before the internet made that shit easy. They're quite literally one of, if not the only pioneer of meme-style marketing. And we're gonna get into it right after word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Sheath. Okay, look, I'm not gonna overcomplicate this. It's underwear with a pocket inside so you can stick your junk in it so your balls aren't stuck to your thigh. Okay, I've got this piece of paper with this page of all this shit I'm supposed to read. Like, oh, they have all these fancy new designs. Like, yeah, that's cool. They're also the official underwear of the UFC. Like, great. Okay, but look, here's the truth. You know who doesn't really need underwear to keep balls from sticking to their thigh? World-class athletes with six-packs. Okay, you wanna know who does need this underwear? Bigger dudes that have been told at every doctor's appointment since they were like 11 that they needed to lose weight, and they just so happen to sweat anytime the temperature gets above 72, okay? Don't fucking look at me and I won't look at you, all right? Hey, you wanna know the best part about this underwear? You can buy a pair, try it out. Worst case scenario, you're like, you know what? Turns out I actually do enjoy my balls sticking to my thigh. You can just not stick your junk in the pocket, and then boom, you've got a normal pair of underwear that feels the exact same, except now you've got a secret pocket that you can, like, I don't know, hide stuff in if you want it.
It feels kind of like if you're not, like toe socks or something. Like if you're not used to that sensation, it could be a weird one to get used to. You know?
You can put your weed in there.
So yeah, you absolutely need to try some Sheath underwear. You literally have nothing to lose. The worst case scenario is that you bought some underwear. The best case scenario is that you never have your balls stuck to your thigh ever again.
Love that for
y'all. I'm gonna have a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. Our story begins in 1948 with a young man by the name of Glenn Bell. See what they did there? Glenn Bell, Taco Bell. Anyways, moving on. Glenn Bell has just returned home from serving his country as a cook in the United States Marine Corps. Okay, right out of the gate, things are already starting to add up. I've said it once and I'll say it again. You don't call up the Marines unless you want something dead, broken, or pregnant, and I've known that Taco Bell was military food all along. But Glenn didn't start off by selling Mexican food right out of the gate. He actually opened up a hot dog stand in San Bernardino, California, known as Glenn's Drive-In. And things go absolutely awesome. They go so awesome that after a couple of years, he opens up a second location and expands into not only selling hot dogs, but also selling hamburgers. But then another restaurant comes into San Bernardino, California, and they're also just trying to sell a bunch of hamburgers, a little company called McDonald's. So Glenn decides, you know what? I'm not going to try to out hamburger McDonald's.
That's
I'm going to go ahead and make a slight alteration to my menu. I'm not going to sell hot dogs and hamburgers anymore. I'm going to start selling tacos. And my favorite little fun fact about this is that Taco Bell's taco sauce is actually Glenn Bell's original recipe for the chili in his chili dog.
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
That's it. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is a man. Oh my God.
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, did you guys know that tacos are just Mexican hot dogs?
Services for emergencies only?
Yeah, I know, but hear me out. This explains why Taco Bell's original slogan was always think outside the bun.
Holy
She is suffering from the...
I mean, I feel like that's a debate for, like, you know, are tacos hot dogs, are, you know, is cake lasagna? Like, this is a slippery slope from which we shall not go down. I mean, cake, lasagna, like layers, different things on each layer, just saying.
worst case of hemorrhoids I have ever seen!
Sorry, I got really distracted. Anyways, he goes from selling hot dogs and hamburgers, changes the name of his restaurant to Taco Tia, and now he starts selling tacos out of a drive-thru window. And his entire strategy is volume. He wants to sell as many tacos as possible, as cheaply as possible. He ends up selling tacos for 19 cents a piece, and the reason he's able to do that is he just streamlines the entire making or assembly process of a taco. And the way he does that is he pretty much exclusively utilizes hard shells. That way tacos are just easier to make and the shells are always ready. And to some degree, he's kind of credited with inventing the hard shell taco, which probably isn't true, but he's definitely the reason that they became so popular. And if you think that sounds crazy, it's absolutely not. You got to remember, this is like the 1950s. A lot of people in America that weren't near the southern border had never even heard of a taco, let alone had one. For a lot of people at this point in time, the first time they actually had Mexican food.
I've always preferred like a non-hard shell taco personally, just because I'm like, it just feels, you bite into a hard shell taco. I've never been able to eat a hard shell taco without it just like immediately shattering and going everywhere. And so maybe that's user error, which is fine, but like, I like a soft shell taco. We usually warm the, you toast them a little bit, you warm them up, you throw a little salt, you zhuzh them up a little, but like they're easier to wrap around and eat. And sometimes things drop out, but like it's not shattering everywhere.
Food was at a Taco Bell once they started expanding. But regardless, the point is Glenn Bell has officially just become the Henry Ford of tacos, okay? Just mass production. And to nobody's surprise, that goes great. He grows Taco Tia into multiple locations, ends up selling the entire brand off to another company, starts his own company to grow it again. This one is called El Taco. Does the same thing all over again, grows a company, sells it off. This time he wants to do it a fourth time, but he wants to make it a franchise company and he wants to run the entire thing. So he needs some capital. He partners up with 4 players from the NFL's LA Rams, and they end up starting.
I mean, like, it seems like he's a pretty good business guy. Like, he seems like he's got his finger on the pulse of what works,
The very first Taco Bell in 1962. And absolutely nobody's surprised, they totally crush it. I mean, they're selling 19-cent tacos to Americans. It's basically a layup. In the NBA, though.
Long pass, perfect to Reese. Well, again, no Brian Reese. To go. Angel physical game.
Oh, wow. Ladies. Embarrassing. That's how I play basketball.
Anyways, within 5 years of being in business, they're doing so well that by
getting anywhere close to
1967,
that.
other successful fast food franchises are looking to cut in to this fast food Mexican niche. So Pizza Hut actually starts their own restaurant called Taco Boy, ends up being a huge failure. They cannot out-taco the Bell. Fast forward 10 more years, they crush it the entire time, and then in 1978, they actually do end up getting bought out by a larger company, Pepsi. Okay, and this is the most important part of the story because this is where shit gets completely out of hand, okay? Pepsi also bought a bunch of other restaurants right around the same time, like KFC and Pizza Hut. But Pepsi wasn't out there buying all these restaurants because they were trying to make money off of the restaurant, right? They didn't think they could sell tacos better than Taco Bell. They didn't think they could sell pizza better than
so
Pizza Hut. They bought them so that they could beat Coke. You see, because at this point in time, Coca-Cola is number one. It's not even close. Everybody prefers Coke, and Coke is in every restaurant in America. And Pepsi realizes that they need to be able to get their soda into restaurants so that people are forced to try it.
Okay. That makes sense. And they have the money to buy a bunch of restaurants. It's like, now you have to work with us. I have worked at a restaurant that but the restaurants will do these things where it's like, you can only sell Coke products, or you can only sell Pepsi products, right? So I worked at a restaurant that sold Pepsi products, but we had people coming into the restaurant that worked at the freaking Coke company, like nearby. So they would be like, we can drink water and coffee and tea. We cannot have, like, they were not allowed, the employees of Coca-Cola were not allowed to drink our soft drinks because they weren't Coke products. I'm like, I mean, they might be allowed to do it when they're not at a work thing. They were there for like business dinners and stuff, but like, I just remember thinking that was crazy.
Airplane, there you go. Open into the hangar. There you go. Yeah, eat it. Put it in your mouth, but just eat it.
God, I hate it. And at this point, pretty much no restaurants in America are going to willingly carry Pepsi products because everybody wants Coke and they don't want to have to tell every customer, is Pepsi okay? So in PepsiCo's mind, in a complete just gangster big dick move, they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We're just going to force restaurants to carry Pepsi. We're going to buy out entire restaurant chains and then force them to carry Pepsi products, which is going to force the customer to drink Pepsi. And then we're going to get a following. And why this is important to Taco Bell's story is because the new owner of Taco Bell doesn't really give a shit about tacos. Okay, new mission is not to sell good quality Mexican food at a fair price. No, the new mission is get as many motherfuckers through the door as possible and force them to try Pepsi. And at this point, Taco Bell, aka the restaurant founded by a Marine, is like, I'm gonna do dumb shit and troll everybody. Which, to be fair, is a completely reasonable
Stick it to them. I love it. Small business owners.
reaction when your entire company basically gets turned into a front to waterboard people with Pepsi.
Yeah,
Okay, we're just
not
gonna take
fair.
the shenanigans from the top, okay? In 1992, Taco Bell hired Johnny Cash to be their spokesperson, right? And I know what you're thinking. Why is that funny? Johnny Cash is awesome. Seems like a great spokesperson. A, I completely agree. But B, it's funny because he's the guy that got famous for singing The Ring of Fire. Okay, moving right along, the very next year,
Oh no. Oh, I mean, oh, the memes.
93, Demolition Man the movie comes out. Okay, for those of you that are not familiar with this cinematic masterpiece, here's the entire plot line. We're gonna take Rocky, we're gonna put him inside of a popsicle, and then we're gonna thaw him out like 100 years in the future so that he can fight Blade with blonde hair. So Taco Bell jumps in and they're like, you know what? Make us every single restaurant in the future. During the storyline of this movie, have a little offshoot where you pepper in the fact that every restaurant in the world is now Taco Bell because there was restaurant wars and Taco Bell fucking won.
Nice.
The longer this
That's
story
funny as
goes
hell.
on, the more sense it makes that it was founded by a Marine. By the time
Yep,
1996
I like
rolls
that.
around, they decide they're not going to just troll their customers, they're going to start trolling everybody, including the United States government.
This is what
they
I
did
wanna
for
hear.
April Fools in 1996 is they took out a full-page ad in the 7 biggest newspapers in America claiming that Taco Bell had reached an agreement with the US government to purchase the fucking Liberty Bell and that they were renaming it the Taco Liberty Bell instead. Now, Baron,
Yes. Oh, April Fools. Oh, that is a good joke. Oh no, that's funny.
mind, this is 1996. Public outcry is still moving pretty slow. There's no Twitter, there's no social medias where people can just immediately be a reactionary at the drop of a hat. No, if you want to be upset about something, you've got
Gotta
to
write it
write a
in.
letter or you've got to go get a phone book, track down somebody's phone number, and call them. There was so much public outcry that by noon of April Fools, the Philadelphia branch of the National Park Service had to have an emergency press conference and tell everybody that it was just a joke and that they didn't
Amazing.
sell the Liberty Bell to a taco company. Also worth
Amazing.
noting, because it's funny, the White House press secretary at the time, when he was asked about this joke, decided to be a complete smartass and respond by saying, and I quote, "The federal government is also selling the Lincoln Memorial to Ford Motor Company and renaming it the Lincoln Mercury Memorial." And my personal favorite, in 2001, the Russian/Soviet space station Mir was gonna collide back to Earth. Okay, this is like the last remaining symbol of Soviet space travel success.
Is this the thing where like something was gonna fall and you had to guess where in the ocean it was going to like where in the world it was going to fall, and the person who like guessed the coordinates right were gonna get a lifetime supply of free tacos? Is that what this is?
And it is gonna fall into the ocean.
This has got to be his big break. We've got to fuck with him.
So Taco Bell is like, fuck it, we're gonna get a giant inflatable target
Yes,
and
it is
stick
that.
it in that part of the ocean with a big ass bullseye that says free tacos here. And if the Russians can manage to hit this fucking
Okay.
target with their space station, we're gonna give free tacos to everybody in America. Okay, this
Okay, so it's not what I thought it was, but maybe they did something similar. Maybe is that a thing? Is the thing that I thought was a thing? Is that real? I mean, it would have been later. Okay, I've heard of something of this nature. I think it was this, and I got some details confused.
This is why Pepsi's my favorite soda brand. Do I like the taste? No, but I just like how much they hate the USSR. Okay, for those of you a little fuzzy on the timeline, the USSR disbanded in 1991, right? 6 years later in 1997, Pizza Hut, the other restaurant owned by Pepsi, gets Mikhail Gorbachev, the former leader of the USSR, to appear in a Pizza Hut commercial to send the very clear, very loud message of communism can't out Pizza the Hut. And now, 4 years after that, the Mir space station, the last remaining symbol of Soviet success at literally anything, is about to fall out of orbit and collide with the planet, and a taco company is putting a giant target in outer space, offering free tacos to the entire country that beat them in the Cold War if they manage to hit this target with any remnants of this Soviet
Hey.
space station. Not only is this going to maximize the amount of people watching with anticipation Station as one of the last living memories of the
Just to, like,
Soviet
say, fuck
Union
you.
dies, it's also one giant last middle finger, letting them know, hey, we have complete confidence that you guys always miss. Which is exactly what happened. The Soviet Space Station did not hit the target, probably because it wasn't at point blank facing a wall, and Taco Bell did not have to buy everyone in America
Nice.
a taco. So Taco Bell is just god tier level shit talking and trolling, but on top of that,
Like
they
it.
also have brilliant marketing ideas. My personal favorite and most infuriating, mostly because it didn't stick around, was in 2017, Taco Bell collaborated with Lyft to have a taco mode inside of their app. And what Taco
don't
Bell
remember
was is that
this.
when you got picked up by your Lyft driver, they would then immediately take you to the closest Taco Bell drive-thru, let you get food, and then take you home from the bar.
I don't remember that. I missed all of that. 2017. Trying to remember 2017. It wasn't that long ago. I was here in Chicago at that point. I missed it.
Okay, I don't know how this feature didn't stick around longer. Maybe I'm in the minority, apparently, but this is exactly what I want, okay? I spent my entire childhood getting told don't talk to strangers. As a grown-ass adult, there's nothing I want more in my life than to be able to summon a stranger with my cell phone and have
Pick
them
me up.
take me to Taco Bell
Take me to
before
Taco
dropping
Bell.
my drunk ass off at home. And you
love
know what? I'm gonna order all the ridiculous shit they've had on the menu over the years, because remember, they're only there to push Pepsi products. They don't care about having good quality Mexican food, and that's why they've essentially turned their entire menu into a circus show. I love it. The entire menu is just
It
like
is
the
wild.
shit that you would talk about with your buddies when you were like drunk or high. Like, bro, you know what would sound good if we made a quesadilla and then turned that quesadilla into the shell for a burrito? We'll call it the quesarito. Oh man, this crunch wrap sure is good. You know what would make it better if we replaced
Doritos?
the hard shell tortilla on the inside with a giant fucking Cheez-It? And you know what?
Oh,
While
or
we're at it, we
Cheez-Its,
might as well
whatever.
make the hard shell tacos
Oh, yeah,
shell
Doritos.
a giant Dorito. Why
See,
not?
I knew there was Doritos. Like I said, I've been to Taco Bell like twice ever, and I think I've eaten it twice ever. One of the times, and then I've been there another time, but I was literally just picking up food for other people at the theater. Like, I was working at a theater, there was a Taco Bell nearby, and I was the person who had time to run to Taco Bell and pick up the Taco Bell order. Like, I used to go to Taco Bell in order to do that, but I think I only got food for myself twice. Like, sometimes I'm like, maybe I should try it. And then I'm like, I'm getting too old to eat it. Too old to eat fast food.
So yeah, in conclusion, that is the story of Taco Bell. That time that a Marine came home from World War II, started a Mexican hot dog restaurant that somehow perfected the art of shit-talking, trolling, and creating weird menu items, all on its quest to force people to drink Pepsi. Thank you for watching. Best way to
Okay.
support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out. You know, for once, I know this video is super unhinged, but I feel like it's not my fault this time.
I feel like it's always his fault when the videos are unhinged. It is your fault because you chose the video topics. That makes it your fault. That's how culpability works, I've decided. All right, that was fun. And again, one of these days I'll do a taste test, perhaps, of a bunch of different fast foods because, as I've said on multiple occasions, it's just like I just have very little experience with them. When I was a kid, we ate Chick-fil-A or Subway. And that was like always it. And so then like at the time I was a senior in high school, I had tried Wendy's fries dipped in Frosties. So I've had that. I've had Wendy's fries a few times. I've had chicken nuggets and stuff from McDonald's. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And let me know what I should look at next. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.